Would Proust really be someone to consult for advice on romantic problems? Well, he thought so. In a letter to André Gide, he wrote,
"Incapable though I am of obtaining anything for myself, I have been endowed, and it's certainly my only gift, with the power to procure, very often, the happiness of others, to relieve them from pain. I have reconciled not only enemies, but lovers."
Well, no. But this was only part of the general difficulty of maintaining an appreciative relationship with anything or anyone that was always around. Take the unemotive example of the telephone. Bell invented it in 1876. By 1900, there were 30,000 phones in France. Proust rapidly acquired one, and particularly liked the service called the theater-fon, which allowed him to listen live to opera and plays in Paris theaters. He might have appreciated his phone, but he noted how quickly everyone else began taking theirs for granted.
A supernatural instrument, before whose miracle we used to stand amazed, and which we now employ without giving it a thought, to summon our tailor, or to order an ice cream. Since we are children who play with divine forces without shuddering before their mystery, we only find the telephone convenient, or rather, as we are spoilt children, we find that it isn't convenient. We fill a Figaro with our complaints.
This points clearly to the problems faced by human beings, comparatively humdrum things, in seeking eternal, or at least lifelong, appreciation from their fellows. Fully appreciated, often as little as a quarter of an hour. The reason for this neglect is that all of us, in the Proustian conception, are creatures of habit, and therefore likely to grow contemptuous of what is familiar.
We only really know what is new, what suddenly strikes us, for habit will dull our senses. When I was a small child, no character in the Bible seemed to me to have a worse fate than Noah because of the flood which kept him locked up in the ark for 40 days. Later on, I was often ill and also had to stay in an ark for endless days. It was then I understood that Noah would never have been able to see the world as well as he did from the ark, even though it was shuttered and it was night on earth.
Though Noah was 600 years old when God flooded the earth, and would have had much time to look at his surroundings, the fact that they were always there, that they were so permanent in his visual field, would have given him no encouragement to recreate them internally. How different the situation would have been after 2 weeks in the ark, when, nostalgic for his surroundings and unable to see them, Noah would naturally have begun to focus on the memory of bushes, trees, and mountains, and therefore, for the first time in his 600-year life, begun to see them properly. It would help us pay more attention to things, lovers in particular. Deprivation quickly drives us into a process of appreciation. If long acquaintance with a love so often breeds boredom, a sense of knowing